This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in Greater Manchester and I'm delighted to be joined by Chantelle Cameron. This was meant to be your tech day today, you've just told me, but one hell of a tech session just then.
Yeah, so Mondays is tech day because I'm sparring Akib tomorrow, so it was meant to be a bit more technical, but it was a big session in the end. Nigel on the pads gets carried away.
He certainly does. Get carried away in interviews, but also carried away on the pads. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just under a month now until your fight date in Dubai. I just spoke to you just now. You always look forward to go there anyway, let alone for fight day.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Dubai, but go over there to actually have a fight as well, what an experience that's going to be. Different kind of holiday, be more business, but just to get to visit the country and experience the country, it's going to be lovely.
Obviously, I've just seen a glimpse of your camp. It's probably a bit of a boring question, but how's camp gone, basically?
Everyone says it every camp, so I feel like a bit like, oh, I'm just saying it because everyone says it. But
It's the best camp.
yeah, literally, this camp's been like above and beyond. It's been a long camp, but it's not felt like a camp because I've enjoyed every single second, and I'm with such a good team anyway. So it's been enjoyable. It's been fun. No tears, so that's always good. So yeah, it's been one hell of a camp, and most definitely the best of my career. But everyone does say that, but this camp is without a doubt the best of my career.
Obviously, it may need to be the best camp you've ever had. Undisputed fight against McCaskill. What do you firstly make of her as an opponent, first of all?
First of all, obviously, you're going to give her the respect she deserves because she's undisputed at 147. She's been in there with some top girls. Obviously, Katie Taylor, she lost to. She beat Cecilia Brackhouse twice, so massive respect to Cecilia. Like, she's a legend of the sport herself. So, yeah, a lot of respect for Jessica, but styles make fights, and my style's going to gel very well with her style, and I think I'm overall the better fighter in every department. So
I think that's why it is exciting. You're very much a come forward fighter. It's going to be, I can see you both meeting in the centre of the ring. It's going to be action-packed, but you've wanted this fight for many years. You've wanted McCaskill, haven't you?
I wanted this fight for a lot longer than she's wanted it. So I think it's given me that fire that I needed, and it's been the first fight for me for a good amount of years now where I've had that fire in my belly where I've been like, yeah, like ready to go. Like, I'm really excited for this one because I've got a massive point to prove, and she's a top girl. She's world class, and I want to be remembered as beating all the top girls. I don't want to be remembered as just beating so and so. Like, I want to be beating undisputed champions, world champions. So for me, this is a massive like kick up the ass, really. So yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm really excited. But like I said, our styles are similar. We're both coming forward, but the difference with me is I can box.
The thing is with this one as well, because you were a mandatory for 2 years ago, and I believe that was only going to be for the IBF, wasn't it?
No, WBC.
The WBC, oh, bloody my knowledge. WBC then. So now it's for the Undisputed. I mean, things maybe happen for a reason, maybe.
100%. So, McCaskill in one of her fights before said about how she was calling me out when, like, literally years ago at the start of my career, I was 5-0 novice, had the IBO lightweight world champion, and I can remember back then, like, her and her manager, coach, whatever, both was
We'll come on to him.
yeah was saying, oh, Chantelle this, Chantelle that, and I was very new. I was new to pro boxing. I was with a different team. That team then was like, ignore it. Like, we were on a different journey to that. We was going for like Delphine pursuing Katie Taylor, so we weren't really looking. Like, they weren't really looking at McCaskill and opponent, but I was like, I'll fight anyone. At the end of the day, it's boxing, it's fighting. Like, I don't care who's in front of me. If someone's going to call me out, let's fight. But obviously, they wanted me to go down a different avenue. Long story short, basically, with Jamie in that now, I wanted the fight with McCaskill. We was preparing to fight for McCaskill for the WBC just before COVID come about. So we was literally in the gym prepping for this fight, like 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago, and obviously she vacated the belt, moved up to fight Cecilia Brackhouse, which makes sense because much bigger fight, big opportunity. So yeah, see why she did that. But like, do you know what I mean? So I've prepped for this fight for a long time, and now here it is, and now we really are prepping and getting the tactics and the drills and everything, and it's all coming together perfect.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of coming down here a few times. Unfortunately, not when you've been here. Unfortunately, this is the first time we've ever met. Yeah, it's a great gym here. Akib is sparring behind us in the gym there. It's a buzzing gym. It's a gym full of character, and it's a lot of fun, let's say, when you train as well. How much trust have you got in both Jamie and Nigel to get you through this fight?
All the trust in the world, and I think that's what I'm relying on. That I generally, they tell me to jump, and I say how high, because I've got that much trust in them. Whereas, especially Jamie as well, because he's been in massive fights. He's been in fights on me and McCaskill are going to be like, I know that I'm going to be dragged through. It's going to be a hard fight. Like, I'm going to have to really dig down on my gum shields, and I'm going to be dragged through it all. So I know that I'm going to look Jamie in his eye in that corner, and what he tells me, he's felt the same. He's done the same, and he's been in that position. So like, I know that I'm going to look at him and know the man's telling me something that he's done and been and dealt with. So like, imagine that. Like, imagine listening to a man that's never had a fight in his life and telling you to go do this and do that. I think that's a bit harder. Whereas I feel like I've got that with Jamie. Whereas I'm like, I look up to him. Is I look back at his fights, watch his fights, and even as a woman, I think, bloody hell, like, I wish I could be like that. So I think I've got that kind of like admiration for Jamie, where it's gonna take me through them deep waters.
Yeah, I mean, moving on quickly to Jamie, there, it was the anniversary only maybe a few weeks ago of the Macklin fight, the Battle of Britain one. So you're definitely in good company with Jamie. But moving on back to McCaskill, you said there's a lot of respect there as a fighter, as a professional. But what about her character outside the ring? You've had a few spats on Twitter. What do you think of her personality, first of all? Here we go. Go ahead.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I think different people, different morals, different personalities, just very different. Like, we ain't got to like each other. I don't like her. She probably doesn't like me. I don't really care. At the end of the day, we're getting paid to punch each other's heads in. And after this fight, if there's no rematch, we don't need to speak again. Like, we're not gonna have a conversation. We're not gonna speak. Like, that's it, really. I think we're just very different people. I think Rick has a lot to say, but he's trying to sell a fight, or maybe trying to be a bit more famous than he needs to be. Like, I think he wants a bit of like clout, a bit of fame, people talking about him. Whereas my manager and my coaches keep quiet, just do their job in the gym with me, and they help me. They try to bring the best out of me. They're not arguing with women online and doing this and doing that. But everyone's different, you know what I mean? If it works for them, it works for them, good for them. But I ain't getting into all that shit. It's load of bollocks.
You looking forward to being in the presence of Rick Ramos at the press conference? You looking forward to that?
Don't really care. Irrelevant to me.
Sure.
There's me and McCaskill that are fighting, so he's a grown man. He needs to just like keep quiet, do his job.
In a recent interview as well, you did mention, in terms of the women's sport as well. I think many people are now hating this term of, the women's sport, the men's sport. I mean, there's been so many fantastic, and we'll go on to this weekend as well in London for SAVANNAH Marshall and Clarissa Shields. There's so many big, good fights out there in female boxing. And a recent interview that you said you're not of the opinion you want the rounds to change to 3 minutes. You're happy as they are.
I want 3-minute rounds.
Oh, you want three? Oh, I thought it was the opposite. So again, then explain to me. I mean, it explains to me why that is. Why the 3 minutes then?
So I would prefer 3 minutes for me because of my style. I think I've got a high work rate. I'm fit enough to do 3-minute rounds, and twos go so quick. So in the gym today, you see I train threes, I spar threes. Like with Akib tomorrow, we'll be sparring 3-minute rounds. I much prefer 3-minute rounds because you got longer, your tempo changes, and you get more stoppages as well. Like, you can get hold of your opponent and get a bit more work done and punish them a bit more, where you get more stoppages. So for me, I'd much prefer 3-minute rounds.
Arguably though, with it being 2 minutes, there's just all action. Let's say that there's so much to go on. So
the exciting part is like that's why people love women's boxing, because for a 2-minute round it is all action. Like, you literally, the bell goes and it's like because you think you got such a short amount of time to get your work done. So you do really go for it. But I think when you do get your opponents hurt, it's kind of like the time goes. It's so quick. So I think that extra minute is you get more work done, and if you do cause a bit of damage, then you're gonna get them out of there.
How much would that impact your style though? Because you do come forward as a fighter, exciting the way you fight as well. With 3 minutes, you said not longer in the ring, you've got more time to punish your opponent and maybe finish them off. But again, that's going to certainly impact your stamina, Chantelle, isn't it?
Yeah, but when I spar, I keep the tempo, so that's why it suit me, because 2 or 3s, I still fight at a high tempo. So when I'm sparring, doing the 3-minute rounds, I'm still sparring as if I'm doing 2s. So when I do the 2-minute rounds, I feel like they're over too quick. So it's just about being a bit fitter and putting the work in.
Similar subjects. You are a fabulous amateur before you turned professional as well, boxing in European competitions and so on and so forth. But with that being said, then, in terms of wanting to change the minute rounds with female boxing, with the amateurs, let's say, the men don't wear head guards, the women do. Is that something you'd like to see changed as well?
So the women box 3-minute rounds in the amateurs now. So when I was an amateur, it was 4-2s, but now they're doing 3-3s like the men. But the head guard, no. I think amateurs should wear a head guard, because they've been tournaments where they're boxing, they could be boxing like every day. Whereas in the pros, obviously, you won't have a head guard. You box once within like 3 months or something. So in amateurs, there's a lot of cuts, and then the lads or girls, if they had no head guard on, could be out of the tournament because they got an accidental head clash, and that's them out of the tournament. So I think for the amateurs, I'd like to see the head guards still on.
So the same for men then? You'd like the head guards back on, let's say, because men don't box with especially the elites don't box with head guards on. So you'd say head guards, all amateurs, no, whatever school.
For amateurs, yeah, I think I'd like to see head guards on just for the tournaments and stuff, because it can affect the tournament, where a top lad could go out of the tournament because they've got an accidental head clash or something, and it's just a bit of a shame, ain't it? Whereas in tournaments and that, I just think to make it a bit more competitive and like just a bit fairer, I think that keep the head guards on, and then when they turn pro, take the head guards off.
Do you miss that with the amateurs? I mean, you're boxing so regularly, or you don't mind, obviously, with professional boxing?
To be honest, I hated the amateurs.
Really? But you're so successful, though. So why did you hate the amateurs so much?
I loved like kickboxing and that. I was boxing regularly in kickboxing. I was always on circuits, semi-contact, light contact, full contact. The amateurs, I think it was just the style didn't really suit me. It was very on your toes, point system, couldn't work inside. Whereas you see my style, I'm come forward, I work inside. So I had a good amateur career. Like, it was great experience, and bloody hell, the experience got me in the position I'm in. I've boxed internationally for 8 years. So I've boxed every single style that you could come across. I think that gives me the confidence going to big fights, because I think I've had so much sparring preparation, like throughout my career, fights. I've boxed so many different countries with different styles and stuff. It does give you that confidence, but the amateur style didn't suit me.
Yeah, I mean, there are some, that especially not all great amateurs make great professionals, but with you, with such a decorated amateur career, I thought you would have enjoyed the amateurs, but there you go, you learn something every day. So let's go back to the fight then. Again, I will have to push you on a prediction for this one. How does it all come together? How does it all end?
I'll win by points.
Win by points?
Yeah, I'll win by points.
Nothing else to elaborate on that, just win by points, that's it.
Whatever it takes, I'm going to win by points.
How much would it mean, again, this is probably a silly question, but how much would it mean for you to be undisputed at that weight?
It would mean the world to me. Obviously, winning a world title is a massive point of your boxing career, but to become undisputed, it's the pinnacle. Like, you can't get any bigger, can you? Yeah. You become undisputed, like, you've completed boxing, basically, and I can tick that one off and
retire, maybe. Just go.
Not yet. A few more fights, I think, but I think as well, I think for me, winning this is not just for me, it's going to be for my team as well. I feel like we've all worked for it, because like, they've been on my journey with me since I won my world title. My managers, my world title, it's been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. They have seen me, the highs, the lows. So I think it's not just for me this is either, it's for my team, because I think I want to bring something back for all they've done for me as well. And for me to become undisputed, it's a dream come true, but to have coaches that have developed Undisputed World Champion, I think it'll be nice for them as well.
Yeah, and again, yeah, that's an incredible event to go in as well, with a massive headliner as well, obviously. But moving obviously to this weekend, it is now the Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields fight. Obviously, the first one was postponed due to obviously the Queen passing. But first of all, I've not been able to get your opinion on that fight, but yeah, what a huge fight for women's boxing and a massive event anyway.
Yeah, wow. The double event, ain't it really? Because MIKAELA Mayer and Alicia as well. Like, what a fight! That's going to be a cracking fight. But Savannah and Clarissa, the last fight week, I thought it was just so entertaining. I was in camp, so like I was training and I was rushing back to put the presser and everything on, and I was literally just laying there resting, but in bed, but just laughing because I just thought it was so entertaining. Savannah's just like, she's so witty in the accents and everything. I think what a great advertisement for women's boxing as well, because they're bringing eyes onto women's sport as well. But cracking fight, and both fights, like the talent is unbelievable, and I think it's hard to pick a winner between both fights. But I am going to go for Savannah and MIKAELA.
Yeah, because arguably without the strap line or the tagline of it being the first all-female card, that those two fights that you're talking about, that they are headliners on a lot of cards.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, both of them. It's both the fights. They're so good, and like what they're bringing with it all as well. Like just the fight alone sells itself, but both fights, the way they're selling it is just it's great. It's good for women's sport.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. It's going to be huge. Obviously, we have to speak about it. This last weekend was meant to be the Eubank Ben fight. Obviously, Conor Ben failed a drugs test. But yeah, when that news came out, Wednesday, what was your initial reaction to it, mate?
What am I going to do Saturday night now? I had it planned. I was like, I look forward to the boxing this weekend. Sit at home chilling. But gutted for the undercard, I think. Oh, what a shame for them, because people forget that they've worked their asses off. Like, they've paid for their camp, paid throughout their camp there, like what they needed to cover and stuff. So they've lost out massively as well. And I think people forget about the undercard a bit. But just a bit shocked, really. But I guess, yeah, it's a bit bad for boxing.
Yeah, and guess the way it was possibly handled. Obviously, with it being prolonged and some people trying to get it to go through and go ahead. What was your thoughts with that one? Really, how it was handled?
As a boxer, I'm quite like, as a fan, I was gutted because obviously everyone wanted to see the fight. But as a boxer, I wouldn't have wanted to see the fight, because if it was, I was in them shoes, like, so if I had an opponent that had just tested positive for a failed drug test, I wouldn't want to fight. But as much as I'd want to fight, because like
the money involved and stuff like that,
and everything, like if someone is on drugs, it's not a safe sport anyway. So why would you want to put that risk to your health? And I think it was quite good to see that it didn't go ahead, because until it's proven, you don't know if he's guilty or not guilty. And obviously people don't want to see anyone get hurt in the ring.